Into the Breach ran Bathtub Boy night before last. He took every incident he could misinterpret or conflate from the last year and a half and strung them all together to prove you are a racist.
Was this poster of the president at a tea party in Brighton, Michigan, not racist? The kind of poster that showed up at various town hall meetings, with the 9/12 protests serving as a road rage poster convention.
One poster at one town hall meeting showed up at a couple town hall meetings being carried by one person, and they managed to find another one in the 9/12 march.
The most blatant examples of racism were there, along with the heavily coded ones. The president as the devil, the president as the blood-sucking alien, the president as undocumented worker, the president as Hitler.
Let me remind you, it was only a year ago that the president was depicted in all those ways, and it wasn't racism. Bush was depicted as the devil. Bush was depicted as Hitler. Bush was depicted as everything. Not only was it legitimate, and it was applauded by the left, it certainly was not racism, even if it was black people saying it. By far, it was white people, of course. Then there's that bus beating incident, which I think is just blatantly black racism on a white kid. One black kid beat up that white kid. Kid couldn't even defend himself. He knew everybody'd jump in. He'd be stomped to a pulp. So he allowed himself to be beaten while this crowd of black kids cheered it on. But to Bathtub Boy, why, that was just some kids having teenage disputes.
But when Rush Limbaugh says, quote, in Obama's America, the white kids now get to beat up the black kids.
No. Correct
with
yourself.
the black kids cheering.
No. Correct yourself.
White kids now get beat up with the black kids cheering, basing it on a school bus incident, which police determined was not over race, but over an argument over who got to sit where. That alteration is definitionally unadulterated racism. But that same story about a fight on a school bus was prominently played on Matt Drudge's website, surrounded by anti-Obama headlines. Context is key.
Yeah, context is key. And the context of the bus fight isn't key. You can look at the pictures and see what was going on there. One white kid on that bus looking for a place to sit. We're not going to let the white kid sit down. When he tries to, we're going to beat him up and everybody cheer him on. Oh, no, context isn't key there.
When the president's environmental advisor, Van Jones, resigned, it was in part because this man stirred up accusations of Mr. Jones's otherness. Of course, Glenn Beck had been, as he still is, losing advertisers because of efforts by the organization Mr. Jones co-founded, Color of Change. Advertisers objecting to Mr. Beck having said he thought Obama is, quote, a guy who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture. This guy is, I believe, a racist. Mr. Limbaugh picked up where Beck left off, pointing out that Van Jones is Obama, just as Obama is William Ayers, which is a racist double dip. Black president is the same as other troublesome black men. Black president is dangerous, just like a domestic terrorist.
Black president picked a black anti-white racist to be his green job czar. Black president picks a guy who's a communist. Black president picks a guy who's a 9/11 truther. Black president embarrassed. Turn the charge around if we can.
So when Bill O'Reilly tops his show just last night with yet another segment on Acorn, he continues in the tradition of right-wing pundits and politicians who have taken isolated cases of abuse to portray Acorn as a collection of criminally minded African Americans, with the president as Acorn's poster child.
Well, Acorn did declare Barack Obama to be the poster child of their movement, and Acorn got so thoroughly caught in its criminality, all members of Congress, but 75 Democrats, voted to totally defund him. But Bathtub Boy is kind of out on a limb there, so he probably is not going to bring it up again. What's your next thing?
Bringing us back to Mr. Limbaugh, whose consistent mission has been to denigrate Obama the candidate, Obama the president, in overtly racist terms, calling him African American and playing a song, Barack the Magic Negro, during the presidential campaign. Whatever its origins, the song is, on its face, racist.
Whatever its origins, you know what that's supposed to cover up? That was taken from a column that appeared in the left-wing Los Angeles Times called Barack the Magic Negro, written by a black gay man trying to explain why white voters would vote for Barack because he made white voters' racial guilt go away. Whatever its origins indeed, excuse me, that was a criticism of Obama brought by the left and is somehow twisted around to be a criticism of the right. Nice Try, fathead.
Late in that same campaign, a local McCain campaign volunteer falsely claimed that she had been robbed and pinned to the ground by a black man. She did it to herself, backwards in the mirror.
That's racist or just crazy girl? Oh, and please, let's bring up a monkey story, shall we? I mean, just those of you who are by your computer or by your Google, I want you to Google Bush and chimp right now. Just see how many, 25 million hits I think you get. But oh no, this is an offense reserved only for Obama.
A campaign in which Obama as monkey, brandished by a McCain supporter, was a mere footnote to the far more dangerous theme.
It was a mere footnote to the far more dangerous theme that Bush was a chimp, which went on for 8 years. Oh, let me guess. Sarah Palin a racist? I suppose.
Candidate Sarah Palin taking up the William Ayers story and turning it into this.
Our opponent is someone who sees America as imperfect enough to pal around with terrorists who targeted their own country.
Oh, well, he did. That's racist, too. I guess everything is.
And while we literally do not have the time here to recount all the fear-driven nonsense stirred up during that campaign, it easily led to instances like this one.
He's an Arab. He is not. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Who was that saying no, ma'am? Was that Bata Boy?
No.
It was John McCain. No, ma'am, he is not.
So when calls to kill him rang out at some GOP rally, who could legitimately claim that it had to be isolated from that context?
Didn't Bata Boy himself demand Bush be killed? I know he demanded he go to jail immediately. I know he demanded he go to Iraq and get his legs blown off by an IED.
And then after the election, the White House watermelon picture emailed by the mayor of Los Alamitos.
The mayor of Los Alamitos. Does anybody know where Los Alamitos is? I do. It's a little teensy town. The mayor of Los Alamitos committed this offense. Therefore, you're all racist.
And the New York Post dead monkey cartoon.
Yeah, well, that was it. There was nothing more to say.
And there were the underreported incidents immediately following the election of the first African-American president in Durham, North Carolina. Police officers investigated for making racial slurs on their MySpace pages.
Oh, okay. Underreported, was it? So your fellow media types thought it was nothing?
Dozens of incidents of alleged hate crimes by ordinary citizens across the country. At a Maine convenience store, a betting pool on when Obama might be assassinated.
A Maine convenience store? You can find a moose quicker than you can find that Maine convenience store? What's up there in Dixville Notch where 9 people vote? Way to go. You're really getting to the bottom of this.
It is sickening, but it is just a sampling, and it shares the same obvious undercurrent, just as the brandishing of the Confederate flag during the campaign is mirrored by the Confederate flag at the recent 9/12 protest.
And if you have a Confederate flag, you're a racist. Everybody knows that. What's the matter with you?
Just as the South shall rise again sentiment associated with states' rights finds its way to flirtations with secession, as in Texas with Rick Perry as governor.
Yeah, that's racist, obviously. You want a seat from the Union, you don't want to be around that black guy as your president.
That ample and ugly context constantly supplemented by the most foul refreshers built for consumption, like Limbaugh wondering, quote, if Obama's brother is still in the hut, end quote.
Well, we're all wondering. The guy lives on $1 a month. You think Obama could send him an envelope with a little money, get him out of the hut?
That's the first time a president in history was heckled in a joint session of Congress by a man who had maligned Strom Thurmond's mixed-race daughter. And yet Mr. Wilson's defenders wonder why anyone might think his outburst was even slightly racially motivated. And contemporaneously, they will still assert that Mr. Wilson's derision was an aberration, though they brought signs in its anticipation.
So, Bata Boy listed, how many was this? Near 20, wasn't it? Near 20 examples. 22 examples of racism in this country that proves you two are a racist. And that you cannot deny that you are a racist because you were a part of all these things. From the New Yorker cover to the dead monkey cartoon to the Confederate flags, you thought he was an Arab.
The original Acid Tom.
There are still 7 words I can't say on the air, right?
It's John Gibson.